tabletop role-playing news. We aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG.
Hello, and welcome to Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG talk. I am Russ, aka Morris, or Morris, aka Russ, and with me this week is
PJ Coffee from the Southampton Guild of Role Players and also Homebrew and Hacking TTRPG Design. Russ, as ever, I am delighted to be here. Joining us also, bringing the best in backstop potential, may have described her as a safe pair of hands, but definitely not to her face until now. It's the one, it's the only, it's
me, Jessica from EM Publishing. Hey, hi,
I think that needs explanation, as these things often do.
I was a little confused myself. I have to admit, I haven't followed the thread there, but it may be because I am very sleepy today.
Yes.
Jokes are always best when they're explained.
Indeed,
okay,
yes.
In which case, let's go with Jess is today backstopping Russ because Russ is being the pilot at the helm of this podcast. The pictures, the sound, all are in Morris's hands.
Normally Jess does the slides and the stuff. And today I'm doing it because Jess is going to be away for 2 weeks soon, and I will have to do it while she's away. So I'm going to practice one today while Jess is here, so that when I break it and it all goes wrong, she's here to save the day.
Exactly.
Like a superhero.
And if your computer screen at home viewer or your headphones that you're listening to on set on fire, it's because Russ did something wrong.
It's my fault, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
because you definitely have the power to do that here. You can set people's computers on fire right now. So if you push the wrong button, the flaming button there that says turn all computers to flames.
This seems like too much power for me to have.
Well, that's what we've been saying for years. But
tell me about
it. World, and there we go. Yeah. It's that time.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from that, we've probably got some TTRPG news to talk about this week, haven't we?
Indeed.
Yes.
When you say some, it is a small amount.
It's not an awful lot this week, but we got some.
Yeah.
But
I like to think that the news we have, certainly looking at what I can see of the running order, makes up in quality what it lacks in quantity, because I know some of it brings a little smile to my face, a little joy to my heart. Perhaps even if we're lucky, a song to my lips.
Oh.
Hopefully not.
Well, you never know.
Wow.
So, I want you to cast your minds back in time, back to when Pathfinder did not exist. If you can imagine such a time.
Was I alive at such a time?
You were alive at such a time.
When did Pathfinder begin?
Mid-2000s.
I was alive.
You was alive, yes.
Physically, if not emotionally.
Yeah. So this was when Paizo was making the magazines for D&D, Dragon and Dungeon magazines.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a line of modules for D&D 3.5 at the time, which they called their Pathfinder Adventure Paths. But they were for D&D at the time. The Pathfinder RPG, there was no such thing as a Pathfinder RPG.
Yeah, it was like a brand name.
And back then, their first one was called Rise of the Runelords. And that was a pretty popular adventure path. We're talking 20 years ago. And they have just announced or hinted at some more Rise of the Rise of the Runelords content.
Bravo. Well covered. Yeah.
I would throw this up on the screen. There we go. Here we go. See, I can do it.
What a professional.
Bravo.
Yeah. So on their social media, this was an image by Wayne Reynolds, who does pretty much all of the Pathfinder cover art. So all Pathfinder books are quite easily recognizable because they use the same artist.
Yeah, same artist.
And it's got a distinctive style.
Distinctive.
Yeah. So this is an image from the original Adventure Path. And then there was a brief post which basically said the Runelords will be returning in upcoming Pathfinder RPG products.
Okay.
But that's it. That's all they said.
Right.
That's all we know.
Well, it's not the most recent Runelords information we've had, because don't forget that they have been breaking out the Rise of the Runelords to other areas. Like, for instance, they partnered with Pinnacle Entertainment Group to produce Rise of the Runelords for Savage Worlds. So
yes.
It's something that maybe they're looking at and they're like saying, well, this was good. What more can we derive from it? So
yeah. I mean, these Runelords, I mean, they didn't say Rise of the Runelords, they said the Runelords. And the Runelords featured in 3 adventure paths. The first of which was Rise of the Runelords. There was also Shattered Star, and there was Revenge or Return of the Runelords, or something like that. So there were 3 of them. So this could be a reboot. It could be Rise of the Runelords being updated to Pathfinder 2E.
Yeah. Have you ever played any of the Runelord stuff, Russ?
I can't remember.
Oh,
I have played some Paizo adventure paths.
Yeah.
I played Kingmaker. I remember that one for sure. I don't think I played Runelords. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't swear.
They get a game on, they.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, lots of people have been speculating. Some people think maybe it's a 5e version, but I don't think it's that. I think it's going to be something, maybe a new Runelords themed thing for Pathfinder 2e. Maybe.
I think so.
I would rate the possibility of them releasing a version for their competitor's product pretty close to 0.
They did release something for 5e in the last year or two, though, didn't they?
Did they?
It was a big mega dungeon whose name is escaping my mind.
I can't
it had a
remember
very
either.
euphonious name. It sounded like loads of fun.
The big dungeon full of spooky things.
Yeah, that's what it was called. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll remember the name. It's like the tomb or something, or the no, it's gone completely out of my head. I would have to Google it to be sure. But yeah,
chat, if you know it, put it in the chat.
Yeah, but it's not without precedent then. So
yeah,
I'd say there's like a 1% chance, maybe a 2% chance that it's a 5e Runelords thing, and a 98% chance that it's a Pathfinder 2e new adventure path featuring the Runelords. That's my guess.
I think second edition is the one that's going to receive the love, I would say. Especially if you've got like a tried and tested method of converting it, re-release things updated for the new system. Yeah.
But we'll find out. They always said this Friday, so that's today.
I've had a look at the stream on Twitch, and the next scheduled Twitch stream from Paizo's official account is at 11 p.m. GMT. So that would be like 6 p.m. Eastern time. 6 p.m. I think, because of daylight savings.
Well, I will certainly not be watching it at 11 p.m. tonight.
No,
just
neither
like
will I.
Just like the Americans don't watch our show at 9 a.m. in the morning, we don't watch theirs at 11 p.m. at night either.
Imagine people logging on at 9 a.m. to watch a live stream.
Some people do.
I don't think it's possible. I don't think anyone would ever do that.
I didn't even think that 9 a.m. existed. I've never seen it.
It does, sadly.
I can inform you that there are definitely 2 5 o'clocks in the day.
Sounds like propaganda. Sounds like propaganda.
The only time I see 5 a.m. is when I have to get up at stupid o'clock in the morning to pick Jess up to go to a convention, which I despise.
Well, we're not going to do that this year. We normally do that when we go to Dragon Meet because it's in London, so we drive up, but we need to be there to set up. But I think this year we're going to go, and we're thinking of splurging on a hotel.
We could do it the night before,
So if you would like us to have a hotel at Dragon Meet, buy things at conventions from us, please, so we can justify it.
Seems legit.
Anyway,
shall we move on?
Yes, that was the Pathfinder news.
People asking if we will be there at Dragon Meet.
Dragon Meet?
We will be at Dragon Meet.
We're always at Dragon Meet.
We booked our stand literally, I think it was last week or the week before that trader stands went open. So we booked our stand. We don't know our stand allocation yet because everyone kind of books stands and then goes on from there.
If you're mates with the right people, you get to be in the daylight section. If you're not mates with the right people, you get to be in the dungeon.
Well, it's at a different venue this year.
Oh,
so they're moving to a big venue because they've outgrown it.
The XL. Wow.
So it's at the XL. So there's not really a dungeon anymore.
I don't know. The XL might have a dungeon. You never know.
Yeah. So we booked our stand. We will be there.
If you're lucky,
you know where
that's right.
else we will also be at another convention, to segue, Russ? We will also be at the UK Games Expo.
No, I've just set up the Alien slide. Trying to do all these things at the same time, and you change the subject.
I know it's hard, isn't it? Imagine.
No.
Imagine what that feels like.
Alien first. Set up the Alien slide. Don't do that.
So
the
so
shout crowd goes palpable.
We're going to be at the UK Games Expo. Set up slides.
No, I made a slide for UK Games Expo as well.
I know you did. Go to it.
But this is
up. Good job.
See, now Russ appreciates my job and the things I do. You literally have to click an arrow and move it across.
Let's have a look. Is that it?
Yeah.
There we go. Right, there we go. Okay, I did that one as well. Wow.
You make me look so good at my job. Thank you. Anyway, so we're going to be at the UK Games Expo. So EM Publishing will have a stand there. And we're also going to have some events that you can come along and book on to join us to. We're going to be a live recording of this podcast at 2 p.m. In a physical room. We're going to be live recording and nothing will go wrong because it never does when we do live recording.
Nothing has ever gone wrong when we've tried to do a live recording at UK Games Expo.
So if you want to be sure to hear it, you'll have to be there in person because sometimes it doesn't record properly. But anyway, we will be there doing that. You can join. The event is free to come along if you have a UK Games Expo ticket. And at the end of the day, it's somewhere to sit down if you've been busy wandering the halls. That'll be on Friday at 2 p.m. So our usual live stream time, but in person. And I'm also running a game of Level Up Advanced 5th Edition on the Saturday evening. Last time I checked, I had like 2 seats left. I'm doing our box set, The Valley of Despair, which is technically in the middle of the 3 set of adventures, but I make it so it's an exploration adventure, so you can run around spooky woods. So I edit it to be a bit of a one-shot, so you can have a fun, interesting arc in one session. Because I think that if I was running that properly, I would, as per the box, I think that would be like 2 or maybe 3 sessions. I would stretch that out to because there's a lot of stuff you can go to there and a lot of encounters.
So, you know what the most interesting thing, of course, about our live show at UK Games Expo? What people can't tell from this live stream, just seeing our faces, is the ridiculous height difference between the 3 of us, which you're going to see in person. Because Peter is very tall. And Jess is not very tall.
No, I'm fine. I'm
like in the middle. Tall. I'm medium.
Yes. So yeah, I'm 5 foot tall. So I'm, which people online people have said to me they thought I'd be taller, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because of the angle my camera is at. But
possibly.
No, I've always been. I'm lucky.
I think it's your personality. You have the personality of a 5'10" Amazon.
The personality of somebody who can mask well. But yeah, but I'm lucky to be 5 foot tall because my mum's 4'10". So really, genetically, I'm doing the best with what I've been given.
Yeah, no bigger than a minute. Good times.
Right. Anyway, UK Games Expo. Right. Let's do the alien thing now.
Okay.
Let's do the alien thing. So I need to go to the alien slide.
Push the button.
This is me learning how to do it live as we do it.
Yeah.
That one.
I think. There we go. I think also just to briefly touch on UK Games Expo.
Don't change the subject again. No.
Well, just bring it back. I believe that is also a place where if you backed one of the Kickstarters whose name has completely escaped me, you can maybe pick up a book early.
Yes, we are trying that this year. So I've put it on various crowdfunders that are fulfilling around that time. That if you prefer to pick up your book in person, you can do that at UK Games Expo. So that'll definitely be the case for the Monstrous Menagerie too, because excitingly, I got confirmation they're going to arrive in the UK next week. So we'll be starting fulfillment for that, but that we're probably going to start fulfilling a little bit early. So if you're in the UK, you might want to maybe not delay it. But anyway, yes, there's information on the Kickstarters, on the latest updates, that if you would like to pick up your rewards in person, you can do that. And then that means, of course, there won't be a shipping charge, so we can take that off if you got one. But yeah, so that will be, so I think we're planning on doing that. Definitely for the Monstrous Menagerie 2, definitely for...
Void Runner's Codex? Am I hallucinating that?
No, Void Runner's Codex and Split the Hoard, we're just getting numbers for to check it, to check interest. And we're just confirming the shipping now. So we probably will be able to do those. And I feel like there was another one, but I can't remember. But if you go to the various Kickstarter pages you're backing, you can see the information there.
There we go.
But I know 100% Monstrous Menagerie, because the books are going to be at our warehouse next week. Because I literally got an email from customs today saying these are books and not stacks of cocaine. They can come in the country.
Marvelous.
I assume that's what customs does.
Yeah, pretty much. If it's cocaine, they like to snort it. Anyway, let us now move seamlessly on to Russ's amazing slide, which is put up, which features 3 books, all marked Alien, in that classic black line. There's Hope's Last Day, Core Rules, and the Rapture Protocol, which have various alien-esque covers, is the best way to describe them. There's a alien rising up, and sort of a background with a bunch of hapless folk wandering in front of it and aware that they're behind it. Then the Core Rules has a person with, I'm going to say, a pulse rifle, is walking away from the mother of all face huggers, which is absolutely enormous and splattered in a sort of X-ray style fashion on the back. And then we've got the Rapture Protocol, which is a Ripley-esque looking person, again with some sort of pulse rifle, with a tail / tentacle rising up behind them, possibly attached to an alien, possibly not. I couldn't say.
I think it is, and things look to be a bit on fire.
Ah, well, that's just aliens for you.
Literally and metaphorically.
Do we have some news to go with this, or is it just we're going to admire Russ's handiwork?
No, go on, carry on. You seem to be doing well.
I was just describing the picture for people because that's part of our remit as a podcast.
I think I'm not needed
to be accessible.
Yeah, well, I can tell you. So basically, the new Alien RPG has launched its Kickstarter. This is for the 2nd edition of the game. So it's 5 years ago, I think they originally launched it. So, but this is, when I say it's a new edition, it is very much updates and tweaks and things like this. So you know, it's basically they've taken all the feedback that they've had over the years and like tweaked and edited it. But they have admitted it's a 2nd edition. So I think the number of changes is comparable to 2024 D&D. Like there's tweaks, changes, and edits. But they've said this is a different edition, which is nice. But yeah, so that's coming out. And it's doing pretty well, isn't it, Russ?
Hit $1 million on the first day.
Oh, goddamn. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, Free League's done that before. Free League is pretty much up there with Kickstarters these days. But yeah, $1 million, make it the 3rd $1 million Kickstarter in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I know, they keep on coming.
Yeah.
What merchandise they have with it?
I can't remember which. Anyway, sorry.
What merchandise are they going? Or are they just going purely on book power?
Well, no, there's always stuff. So let's have a look. So there's miniatures.
Nice.
Which look gorgeous. You get an alien, you can get various space marines. There's quite a lot of miniatures, actually. Yeah.
I haven't actually looked at the
power loader. The power loader, which you can these power loader.
Well, those big person-sized forklifts, eh?
Yeah. So there's miniatures. There are virtual tabletop stuff.
There's dice.
Lapel pins. There's dice. There's always dice. There's a screen. There's tons and tons of add-ons and stuff. If you are so inclined, I like those miniatures. You'd have to paint them, unfortunately, which is, the
engineer bundle.
Having to paint miniatures.
The engineer bundle is actually a pretty good value. It is just over £300. Which is £300, which is But for that, you get the GM screen, all the pins, 2 dice sets. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 book/box sets, which I think is actually really good value. And you get the PDFs for them as well.
Miniatures.
Nice.
That's just some of the miniatures as well. That's not all of them. So you can see there, you can see the alien, and then you can see 3. I guess that's 3 marines.
Yeah.
The RPG miniatures is included in the engineers bundle as well. Actually, the engineers bundle is really good value for all the stuff you get. And I know it is £300, which is a lot of money to drop if you're not, if you haven't, planned for that. But
if you're super into aliens, then this could be a good time.
If you were thinking you were going to get them all at some point, yeah.
And this includes updated content from Alien Romulus as well.
Yes.
It doesn't
include Alien Earth, which is a new TV show coming very soon. I assume it doesn't have any content from that.
I would assume not.
No.
There's also a special collector's edition book which has a unique embossed cover design of like a close-up of an alien's face or something. I don't know, but that looks quite cool. But that's a Kickstarter. That's a
gorgeous.
Kickstarter only once printed, won't print it again type thing.
Let me see if I can throw that image up on the screen, because that's a gorgeous looking image.
I
like
think
that.
I think you can. I believe in you. But yeah, but this is cool. I think if you're planning on picking up the Alien thing, this is actually quite a good value time to do that.
Oh, that's very clever. They've actually split. Well, one, they've run out of stretch goals, and two, they've actually split out the miniatures so you can buy them separately. And I gotta say, I'm quite tempted because they do look quite good.
I'm not going to get this myself, not because it doesn't look great, but because I have the first editions. Oh yeah, there's the limited edition version.
That is gorgeous, isn't it? That. Oh wait, do you know what?
Oh,
I wasn't sure,
but now that's the one you want.
That is the one I want.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a pledge kit just for that.
That's
the Evolved Core Rulebook Collector's Edition for £71. But yeah, which for a limited edition version of a book actually isn't bad. 78. But anyway, yeah, so I think it's good value. I'm not going to get it purely because I have the first edition. I've still not played it.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, do you know what, Jess? You should sit down and play with the toys you have before you buy new ones.
Yeah, you can't have your dessert until you've eaten your vegetables.
Exactly. No, I've been meaning on my list. I've got some games that I want to run, and Alien is one of them on there. So, but I just need to sit down and make the time and gather my party and venture forth.
Fair enough. Nice little Baldur's Gate reference. Sneaky
Baldur's
Gate reference in there. I saw that.
Do you know, to talk about Baldur's Gate this week, I played Baldur's Gate this week with on the Baldur's Gate 3 cocktail hour, which runs every Wednesday evening. And we haven't played for like a month, and I really enjoyed it. And I realised I hadn't actually played Baldur's Gate for about 3 weeks. Which I think
He was deprived.
I know. So is the addiction waning? Who can say?
I don't know.
Find out.
That is unlike you. Have you thought about it though? Has it entered your mind?
Not like every day. Just to be clear. I'm not like just thinking, wow, I could be down by the river right now. But no. But I'm planning on playing a lot of Baldur's Gate this weekend because it is actually my birthday this weekend. There is a stack of gifts there you can see on the live stream behind me waiting, and I was asked what I wanted to do on my birthday, and I said I want to have a day where I don't have any responsibilities and I can just play Baldur's Gate all day. So that's what I'm gonna do.
It's a decent birthday present.
Yeah, I'm going out to dinner with my other half, and then next weekend I found a thing for people, middle-aged people my age. So picture the scenario: you're old and tired, but you quite like the idea of going out dancing, but you don't want to go out in the evenings and deal with like the nonsense of
day
nightlife.
Clubbing. You've discovered day clubbing.
Yes. There is a place that it does it. It starts at 3 p.m. and ends at 8 p.m. And I went, and the music vibes is like a wedding or a school disco. They're like playing 80s classics. They're playing Motown. It's cheese. Occasionally they put something a bit more modern in from the last 20 years. Immaculate.
You go out clubbing and then you're home in time for bed. It's brilliant.
You're home in time to feed the dog. So that's also what I'm doing to celebrate getting older. And I can't. It sounds amazing. I can't recommend it. I can't recommend it anymore to people. Anyway, that's enough of my life. What else is happening?
I'm going to give you a news item that I don't think you're going to see coming.
I can see what you've got prepared behind the screen, but sure.
Okay. Right. Are we ready? In fact, I'm just going to throw the image up on stage. Are we ready?
Okay.
This is a thing that exists.
Okay.
The Battletech Cookbook. Oh.
That's not something I saw coming.
If we were still playing Guess the Kickstarter from the name, just the name alone, I like to think I'd probably have gotten this one right.
You probably know what's in there, yeah. So
I approve. It's a good name.
Drink, basically.
Yeah, recipes from the inner sphere. There we go.
Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, because I don't play a lot of Battletech, so maybe this is my ignorance. But is the Battletech world known for its culinary experiences? Is that a big feature of the game?
I mean, not in my experience, but I haven't played much of it either. But in the games I have played, it's mainly known for big robots.
Yes.
Big robots.
Yeah.
That don't eat sandwiches.
They don't tend to eat sandwiches.
I've never seen modern robots eat sandwiches. I couldn't say that it never eats sandwiches.
Okay, fair enough. We won't.
I think it's more like to stomp on the sandwich and then blow it up with an RPG.
That does seem a lot more on brand.
Yeah, on brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Battletech, stomping
Yeah.
on things and blowing them up with rocket propelled grenades.
Yeah.
Yes.
But however, if you did feel that Battletech themed recipes were missing from your life, that gaping hole has now been filled.
I mean,
problem has been solved.
Yeah, it's an interesting book. I am slightly intrigued because it has like sort of a Chinese style lantern. I don't think those are Chinese characters on the front of it, but probably that's because they're not using actual Mandarin. But I don't know, could be wrong.
Is that an in-universe language that they have, maybe?
I don't know. That's too lorry.
Or it might be Korean or katakana, hiragana. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not kanji because they don't look right for that, but I could be wrong. Yeah, and
I don't recognise either.
Looks like they've got like some sort of outdoor noodle style. So I guess the difference in aesthetic between Blade Runner and Battletech is Blade Runner has slightly less mechs stomping along down the streets, and Battletech has slightly less androids looking just like you.
Slightly less rain than Blade Runner.
I don't know if we can prove that either. It's probably less significant.
Would you like to hear some of the recipes?
Yes.
Oh, go on then. Yeah.
Okay, so we have Eridani light beer.
Okay. How does
so
one make that?
I'm gonna brew some beer.
I'm not going to read the recipe. Just give you the names of the recipes.
Right,
so we've got Takayid teriyaki.
Okay, I feel like I know what that is.
Okay. We have curd of Blake. I'm not sure
Who's
what that
Blake?
is.
I don't like the sound of that. Why are we eating his curd?
Not a big fan of human-derived curds.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to be open-minded, but
I don't know either.
I apologise. I'm a vegetarian. It's not something I will eat.
We have maki and cheese.
I know what both those things are. Good.
Well, maki
I wouldn't normally put them
sounds like
together.
a name rather than I don't know.
Maki like a
type of
sushi or something.
Sushi.
Is it?
Yeah, like tuna or something. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then we've got
normally put it with cheese.
Rangoons.
Rangoons.
Wolf's Rangoons. RANGOONS.
I think I've heard of that. That is a dish.
I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what a Rangoon is. Does anyone in the chat know what a Rangoon is?
Something from Burma, maybe? Oh, it's like a dip thing, maybe? Or like a little... Yeah, I think it's like a paste. It looks like.
If you would like to know for sure, you can find out by buying the Battletech Cookbook.
Indeed, you can.
I'm not sure it's for me. I don't think I'm the target audience because I'm not in the Battletech world and lore.
Yeah. I'm sure that it's come out. Why not?
I think, if D&D can have a cookbook, why can't Battletech?
Yes, if D&D can have a cookbook, why can't Battletech? Exactly correct. And I think this would be a nice GM gift. Like if maybe you have a GM running Battletech for you and they cook food or enjoy eating food, this could be a good gift.
Or you could cook things for the game.
Yes, but you shouldn't ask your GM to do that because if they're already running the game, you as the player should obviously
It does seem a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some GMs are into that. That's true.
That's true, but
I think being a GM and being a host are two different jobs, and they can be the same person, but sometimes
it's nice to make it not the same person all the time.
I recall that for the longest time I did all the cooking whilst GMing, largely to avoid having to deal with ordering from the cheapest, nastiest takeaway that the other players wanted to do. I'm like, no, please, we're just not going to do that. We're just going, I will cook, it will be better, and it will be free. So let's do that, and I will get good food, and you will get good food. I do not have to deal with the greasy horror of. Anyway, I won't go into details. It was not a good takeaway. But it was cheap, so it had that going for it. So there you go. I could
but free is cheaper.
I did have the price point locked down for certain. What's next?
All right. Have you heard of something called Paksworld? Or the Paxinarian series of novels?
Yes, I have. That's Anne McCaffrey and Jodie Lynn Knight, but it's been
Elizabeth Moon.
Elizabeth Moon. Pretty sure Jodie Lynn Knight did some of them as well. But yeah, let's not squabble. That's like pushing quarter century since
So this
last
is
I
a
heard.
fantasy saga which launched in 1988.
Mhm.
Series of novels by Elizabeth Moon. The first one was called Sheep Farmer's Daughter.
Right. Okay, yeah.
And it features a runaway girl called Patinarian Dorthan's daughter, who becomes a paladin.
As you do.
Good for her.
Yeah. And there have been lots and lots and lots of books written since then, over the last 20 or 30 years. And there is now going to be an official tabletop RPG.
Sweet.
So this is going to be done by Brittannia Game Designs, who make Chivalry and Sorcery.
Okay. So will it be similar to that? So it'll be your classic kind of fantasy, sword and sorcery type thing?
Yeah. Well, there's going to be 2 versions of it.
Okay.
There's going to be a 5e version.
Hey.
Sure.
There we go.
And there's going to be one powered by their in-house Skillscape system, which is that what powers Chivalry and Sorcery? I don't know if it is, but I'm guessing so.
Pass.
From that context.
Yes. Okay.
Well, that's good. There's options.
I gotta say, if you're gonna do a 5e conversion or something, then a fantasy world with like paladins and stuff, that seems like a fairly decent starting point.
So I think that the world was originally inspired by a D&D game.
Oh, so
back in the 80s as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of coming.
A lot of things were.
Yeah.
Retaining
I've never read the novels myself, so I'm not familiar with them. I'm told they're a sort of gritty, high adventure sort of thing.
Cool.
I haven't actually read them. This is I confused the Paxtonarian stuff with a different series, but I was vaguely aware of it because, okay, cool. Good times.
Yeah, well, good for them. That's coming to Kickstarter later this year as well, apparently. There's no date given. But if you're a fan of the Paksworld stuff, you're in luck.
Good times.
Come on, someone else do a news item now. What's the next one?
Bring something up. We've got, what's this? Kobold Press Heroic Hoard of Power. All right. So what's this? Oh, Humble Bundle. Oh, but it's deep magic. Do like that. It looks like Kobold Press is throwing all its 5e at something.
Yeah, so it's a big bundle. 44 books.
That is a lot of books.
Less than £20 for all of them.
Yeah, that is a pretty good deal.
Oh, did you hear that sound? As though a wallet cried out in panic and was swiftly silenced.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at that. They got a Foundry license key for Deep Magic 1 and 2, Vault of Magic. Oh, the Midgard Heroes Handbook.
It looks like it's basically everything 5e they ever did.
Yeah,
I don't know if that is true, but it's certainly a lot of them. If not, rule books, we've got source books.
I don't know all of this. Warlock Patrons Beyond
Damage stuff I haven't even heard of.
James Heck, Midgard Rogues Gallery, which is a collection of characters. Very nice.
Yeah, well, Midgard is their in-house world,
setting.
Setting,
Oh, I got one called Ratatosk, which has a war scroll on the front, leading a band of squirrels to battle some undead. Ratatosk being famously the name of the little scroll that ran up and down it drags all the world tree. So I imagine that's something for Midgard. They have Book of Blades, which looks like it's got lots of different ways to expand fighters, monks, rangers, rogues. Looks pretty sweet.
I guess if you've been sort of like waiting to start collecting Kobold Press's 5e line, this is pretty much the way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of books.
It is. Good Humble Bundle offers.
I gotta say, like, if you like a bit of 5e, which is, as we know, compatible with A5e, then Deep Magic 1 and 2 are probably worth it alone. Midgard and Southlands, that's definitely worth plundering.
They're monster books. Are they on there? I assume they're on there.
I haven't seen any of the Tombs of Beasts.
Are they not on there?
No. So that would be not everything, It's like it's all the player-facing stuff. It looks like.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's like got stuff like their bear folk, which might be a bit redundant, but they got naval battles in there, Fabled Armory.
Yeah.
I think for probably 2 setting books and the deep magic stuff, that would take that down to like less than a £5 a go, and that is good value.
Yeah.
And you get some other stuff which you might like.
Yeah, and it's on Humble. Is it Humble Bundle?
Humble Bundle. That's right.
Yeah, because mostly RPG stuff comes on Bundle of Holding.
That's
but
true.
Humble Bundle tends to be more video games, doesn't it? I think.
Oh yeah. You know what? I've just this day found out that they're actually 2 different things, even though the names are completely different.
The Humble Bundle is much bigger, and it's video games. Bundle of Holding, I think, was when it's like a RPG version of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But occasionally you'll see this, because I've seen Paizo stuff on there before as well, and things like that.
Well, you've got like a 15 days to go on it. As of Friday the 28th of March, and it looks like the bundle is supporting the Make-A-Wish charity.
Oh yeah,
nice. These always support a charity as well.
Yeah.
Part of the money goes to a charity.
Yeah, looks. I'd say looks like a solid offering. Great bit of news there.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a tiny bit of industry news. Do you remember we talked about Diamond Comics running into trouble? It was about a month ago or so.
Financially,
they have like a bunch of people's RPGs,
and
they like have run out of money to.
Yeah. So Alliance Entertainment, which is not to be confused with the Alliance toy and game distributor, which was part of Diamond's assets. So Alliance Entertainment, no relation, but similar name, has purchased or is going to purchase Diamond Comics assets, which will also include Alliance game and toys distributor. So from our point of view, that was the bit that was relevant to us, the Alliance distributor. I mean, comics and all sorts of like Diamond did an awful lot of stuff. And Alliance is a sort of big company that does a big wide range of things. It's like video games and all sorts of things. So it looks like So basically, from the TTRPG point of view, it looks like the Alliance game distributor has been saved. I don't think there's any doubt it was going to be. It was just who by.
Well, better an actual company than venture capitalists who would probably load it up with debt, do things like make them sell off their offices and then make them rent them back or something. And then, oh no, after 2 years, they've managed to collapse under crippling debt. Who could have seen that turn of events? Literally every time. Anyway, so that's not happened. That's good.
No, I mean, the whole set of stuff was Diamond Comic Distributors, Alliance Game Distributors, Diamond Select Toys and Collectibles, and the Collectible Grading Authority were Diamond's assets.
Right. So, well, good job, Alliance, I guess.
Yeah.
Hope that means good things for the staff that work for those companies, because it's always uncertain when corporate acquisitions and things like that happen. So hopefully that
there's a bit of finance stuff here I don't 100% understand. It says Alliance Entertainment will finance the acquisition through an expansion of its existing $120 million revolving credit facility, which it expects to increase to $160 million. Does that mean they're paying $40 million for it?
Round about that sort of thing. There's a bit of wriggle room. Like that would just be they've got a deal with the bank so that they'll be getting money. They don't. Basically, it means they don't have to have the money in the bank. They've got a credit line. Yeah, they're borrowing the money. They're borrowing money, but they're expecting to pay it back on a quite a short term basis. So like their monthly turnover is round about 160 million or less. Yeah.
Well, this is apparently going to be happening by April the 10th, assuming the bankruptcy court approves it.
Don't see why they wouldn't.
No,
keep it going. Make sure creditors get paid.
Yeah.
Okay, so that feels like good news. Is this good news? It's hard to tell nowadays.
It's good news for the industry.
It's so unfamiliar. It's like
I mean, it's probably bad news for somebody, but you know, big corporate shake-ups are always bad news for some people.
Yeah.
But I guess overall, it's decent news.
I don't have strong opinions about it.
No, it doesn't affect us massively.
Well, we weren't one of the debtors because Alliance didn't want to take us as a
Creditors.
yeah.
Not
Like creditors, whatever it means.
The
The creditors
opposite.
that they were indebted to, I meant, but you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
They don't owe us money.
They don't
what I
owe
was
us
trying to
money.
say. So
Yeah.
I'm
they
pleased
did
to say.
owe a lot of other people money, and that's good for them that they will hopefully get some.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right there.
I'm of two minds as to the next piece of information because, technically there is a conflict of interest in me reporting on it.
Is there?
Well, yeah, I guess you didn't look at the Kickstarter page.
Well, I've glanced at it.
Okay, yeah. Oh, shall we talk then about Free 5e?
Sure.
Yeah. Free 5e, the plan, they're running a Kickstarter. I have to say, I do find it a little baffling. I mean, I love it. I'm here for it.
Well, let's see what it
Great
is.
energy.
Let's see what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the little picture that Russ has put up is of 3 chunky-looking books, a free-range monsters GM handbook and player's guide. It's a open license set of core 5e books.
Yeah.
The idea being that you can go and play at any 5e table using these books, which you should be able to acquire for all 3 books, by the way, for $45 plus shipping.
Or
that's
in
not
PDF
$45. PDF is free. $45 total plus shipping is what the guy's aiming for. But that's probably going to go up to maybe $65 with the tariffs where the US government's taxing its citizens for foreign imports. So that's a problem that is causing them a bit of problems. So they're like Wormworks Publishing. I know quite a bit about this because I'm one of the editors.
Oh, I did not
That's
know.
on the Kickstarter page.
Yeah. Breaking news.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Hello. They've done a lot of things which I really like. They've got cultures separated out. They've got I'm going to say heritages or species, one of those. I think heritages. Again, not in the full A5e fashion. It's like leaning a bit more towards the basic 2014 version of 5e. But like I say, they've done their best to split it out. I've given them a little hand with helping them create mixed heritages using a major and minor traits mixing thing that you can do, which should be relatively robust. So yeah, it's pretty cool, really. They've got some new things, and if you look at the book and you say, wow, these people have done like a lot to help de-racialize and make less colonial the game of 5e, it's like, yes they have. And the way they've done this is by taking best practice from throughout the industry and SRDs from people like Sly Flourish in his work in Creative Commons, Kibble's Tasty, his stuff, and very, very generously from EM Publishing's Advanced 5th Edition SRD. So that book has not a huge amount. It's got a bit of original stuff in, but a lot of it is components that have been extensively play tested from other game systems. So yeah, if you can play 5e, then you can play this game, and it's going to be usable at 5e tables.
What's interesting about this is the way the Kickstarter's set up. Because
that is the curious way it's done.
But you don't get the game as part of the Kickstarter. All they're giving you as part of the Kickstarter is kind of like stickers and trinkets and pens and things like that.
I'm afraid there's a big asterisk that applies there, Russ, because if you're in the UK or Europe, you
don't
cannot
get them at all. Yeah,
you cannot back that. You can back like at a $15 level.
Yeah,
to
I saw that. Yeah, because
stuff.
I actually did go to back it and I found I couldn't.
Yeah, like you can't get any of the merch. They're basically doing this huge merchandise sale, to help finance the things like the layout costs.
Yeah.
And if they've got any money left over to pay the artists.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because you can't say something is a free version of 5e and then go ahead and charge people for it. So it does make sense that you can't really have like $15 you get the PDF, because then you're selling the PDF for $15. It's not free. So I get it. So when the Kickstarter ends, the PDFs will be free to everybody, whether or not you back the Kickstarter. Because that's what free means. That totally makes sense. I get that entirely. You can't you can't have a pledge tier with the PDF and also call it a free version of free, because they're not. So
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you're on board with that, because it's tricky.
I did say I get it, but I don't necessarily think it's going to work especially well.
Yes. I mean, I'm very hopeful for them. They've received some absolutely glowing write-ups of how good the stuff is, like renaming the Berserker the Dreadnought and the Monk the Adept. I was like, okay. I'm sure somebody else renames the Monk the Adept. Maybe it is as 2021.
yeah.
But like I said, no, I mean, it's not, the idea isn't to showcase new design. The idea is to make it more accessible. And when I say make more accessible, they are leaning heavily into it. Wormworks Publishing, I'm going to say, is without doubt, to my mind, the number one publishers for accessibility in the 5e design space. Like, they don't have any competition, like, at all, really. It's something that they're really heavily focused on for personal reasons. And they've made it shine. They've got like Limitless Heroics, which is a fantastic book, which I've managed to pick up. I'm very pleased with, and that goes through all mental and physical related disabilities, like maybe not all of them, but certainly enough to do. I'm holding my hands a good like 6 inches apart. I don't think the book is actually 6 inches wide, but it's certainly a very detailed handbook about how to approach this sort of thing. So it's good.
Yeah, they've got the player's book there as the main thing, and then as stretch goals, they've got that. Because they've got 3 books there in the picture, but the GM's book and the Monsters book are both stretch goals. And looking at the backer tracker at the moment, it doesn't look like it's going to make either of those stretch goals. And again, I think that's probably just because of the way the Kickstarter is set up. Because you back the Kickstarter, you're not getting. That's not what you're getting. You're getting other stuff, and also if you're outside the US, you can't do it anyway. So
I think the idea is
basically it's like US and Canada having to carry it.
It's the spirit of it feels like when you buy a community copy on itch or something, so you're not actually getting the game yourself, but you're making sure other people can. This whole crowdfund is very much the spirit of that. It's like, I'm not paying for a game because I'm going to get it for free anyway, but I'm going to put some money into it so that it's
absolutely
free and available to
you're literally supporting the project because you want it to succeed in this case. You're not supporting it.
I
don't think
which is what crowdfunding is kind of made for, really. But I think people are so used to tabletop RPG campaigns being pledged to get a book, like a pre-order sort of system, which is, how it works. So I think maybe that's why I'm sure some people look at it and they're like, oh, well, just wait to get it for free after, which is not the spirit of the thing. But I bet there's a lot of people doing that.
Yeah. It's a long Kickstarter as well. It's still got 34 days to go. When did it launch?
I think about a week ago, last Tuesday,
March 25th.
It was in the region of a 40-day Kickstarter.
It launched on Tuesday, as you said, which is like 36,
so it's like 37, 38 days. It's just a long Kickstarter.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of it. I think the idea is it goes past a couple of paydays. I know there's been they've delayed the launch a little bit to make sure that they've got the various so that they can fulfill it quite quickly afterwards. So if you're in the US and you would like some of these various trinkets and other shiny things, and you fancy, actually democratizing 5e, then it's a good way to go. Yeah.
I mean, what's also you can already download the books not with the art and everything, which is because the Kickstarter. So the books exist in as PDFs.
Yes.
In the sense that the text exists. The Kickstarter is to make them into pretty laid out
Yeah.
books with
There
art.
was
and
a
stuff.
manuscript available, as we'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually download that right now. Right. You know,
Yeah.
you can go there down for free. You can download that right now. So you can see what the content actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, if you're looking to move away from Hasbro and things like A5e are too much for you and Kobold Preston to peel, then I'd say this is another very, very strong competitor in that space. Like, you know, they're all doing slightly different things. Like, I'd say, like, Tales of the Valiant really refines 5e and puts it onto a really rigorous and systematic basis. Advanced 5th edition adds in support for exploration, social, gives you a lot of extra options, a lot of meaningful choices. And this is giving you 5e for like basically the price of one of their hardbacks. But the idea would be you get all free. So yeah, it's like pretty solid.
Yeah, well, sadly, it doesn't look like the GM book and the monster book will make it, because I'm looking at backer tracker and the GM book is at 31,000 as a stretch goal, and the monster book at 52,000. The backer tracker is currently trending at 21,000.
So it will fund though. It's looking like, so it will happen. So we'll get
fund.
The
players book will fund. Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, and the other stuff, as I say, is available as manuscripts. So who knows how things will go? But yeah, definitely worth putting the news out there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can get 5e for free already just by downloading SRDs. So this is if you kind of want it in a format that is easy to use. So it's going to be laid out. It's going to have arc. It's going to look, because an SRD is not really great for running a game from.
No, you need to do some work.
I'm not trying to be that guy, Russ, but saying you can download and get 5e for free with the SRD is not true, because for a start, it's got no feats in it.
It's truly true. You can go and download our SRD for free right now.
You can download the A5e SRD, which some people don't like because it's got things like expertise dice and combat maneuvers and all that stuff that I really love and I find really useful. But if you want to have that 2014 Player's Handbook vibe with like a lot of the problematic elements taken out and to have access to the feats and so forth, then actually you do need to have this as well, because they're, as I say, they're all doing different things. It's like different tools do different jobs, man. It's like, I don't know what else to say.
Anyway,
but like, you know, it's and also it's like got the archetypes, the subclasses and so forth. Not the ones you'd get in the Player's Handbook, but you know, some really nice ones which have again been tested and crowd tested. So like I say, it's built with pre-existing parts, but the parts are good. They've been really well tested from good quality sources.
I think my only minor concern about something like this is it does splinter the 5e market even more as more and more people come out with their own versions of 5e, and it does kind of, you know, you end up all these different groups of people just playing slightly different versions of 5e, and I don't think they mix and match them all that much. You can, but I don't think people tend to all that much, which is a shame. But I think the result is you end up with just these different sort of siloed pockets of people playing different versions of 5e.
And barely different as well. Like, honestly, you could just like grab any of the monsters. I mean, it's like, this is just proof of concept that A5e does what 5e should be doing. Not to put too fine a point on it. It's been quite funny, and like, hi Dale, if you're listening, but like listening to Dale say, I'm just going to strip all the A5e out. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, maybe have a read of it first before you do that. And then he's reading it. It's like, oh no, but I've got to keep all these bits like with the monsters and the shadow, the portents and foreshadowing and so forth. It's like, yeah, that is really good. Yeah. And these feats are, which ones is these can we use? And it's like, yeah, you can use all and they'll all work. Oh no, that's really good. It's just like, yeah, the more he's been reading about it, the more he's been finding actually it's like, one, pretty cool, and two, basically very similar to 5e, just with some gaps filled. It's like the difference between a old country road which is full of potholes and one which has been nicely smoothed off. So yeah, like I say, this one is, as far as I can make out, pretty much pothole free as well. So yeah, that's nice.
Well, we all like a smooth road.
Nope, that's not what I meant to do. There was a bit of spam that's been posted. I'm trying to work out how to remove it, and I just went and flashed it on screen instead.
I've gone onto Twitch. and just removed it and banned them. Don't worry.
Okay. Jessica wields the ban hammer. Good time.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that
Maybe
was
on.
that. Right. What else have we got in the news?
What was the evil laugh?
It's because I've got access to the running order, so I know what's next in the news. Do you want to lead off on this, Jessica? Because I think that'd be quite funny.
Not really, because I don't really understand what's happening here. I was reading this beforehand. I said to Russ, I was like, we've got this piece of news. What is going on? Because I feel like whenever anything with TSR comes around, it's always like really tangled and like convoluted, and I'm like, what is going on? Why is this happening? So I'm going to tag Russ in to say, can you explain what's happening here? Because I don't. Yeah.
So, a couple of years ago, it was kind of big news, and it has died down pretty much over the last couple of years. But of course, TSR are kind of appropriated. I say TSR because they're not TSR anymore because they. Okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So
anytime I look into this, I'm like, what is this mess of like problematic spaghetti?
Okay. So a company formed by a number of people, including a man called Justin LaNasa, formed a company which they called TSR.
Problematic spaghetti.
TSR, of course.
Just going to mute PJ for a sec. Well, they
TSR, of course, being the company, the original company that created D&D back in the 70s, and which Wizard of the Coast bought towards the end of the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So Wizard of the Coast let the trademark lapse, and Justin LaNasa and his friends snapped it. Well, I say snapped it up, just kind of started using it and registered it.
Because
said,
it was
we are now TSR.
Yes.
Then they attempted. It would probably, if they hadn't done any more than that, they'd have probably gotten away with it if it, wasn't for those packages. But they had to keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. So they decided to try and sue Wizard of the Coast to get TSR off of them and stop them doing. They wanted to sue Wizard of the Coast to stop them including warnings in front of legacy products and things like that. This big campaign to stop Wizard of the Coast, which. They just kept pushing. They kept pushing. They kept poking the bear. They kept poking the bear. And then in the end, Wizard of the Coast had enough of it, turned around, sued them back, took the name TSR back off of them. Then the company went bankrupt. It's all been over for a year or so ago. I mean, things are being sold off, all sorts of things. But one of the things that they did was there's a chap who a lot of people probably know called Eric Tenkar. That's the name that he uses on online. Who is a blogger and a YouTuber who was covering the topic in depth and at length at the time.
In the way that we do, they talk about the tabletop RPG news and what's going on with stuff.
Yeah, and Justin LaNasa decided to sue him. For defamation, and this has been going on for ages, like a year or two.
Wow. Damn.
It was a baseless lawsuit. Apparently, LaNasa sort of like had his mother served and his wife served and all sorts of stuff. It was like really silly.
He had Eric Latanka's
Eric Tenkar,
Eric Tenkar's wife and mother served. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Are they present in the videos?
No.
Well, I thought so.
Oh. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's some people do.
No.
I don't know.
No. But anyway, LaNasa lost the case a while back, appealed because he did, and the Second Circuit bench over in the US has reviewed that appeal and basically laughed and said, "Go away, you silly man." Pretty much.
So it was denied.
Yes, the appeal has been denied.
Yeah. Please do not use the law courts to pursue petty grievances. Cheers. Yeah. Wow. Well, couldn't happen to a nicer chap.
I mean, the phrase they actually use is, "We have considered plaintiffs' remaining arguments and find them to be without merit." I mean,
That does sound like the legal way of saying it. I was like, I don't think they use those words. Like, I'm not very knowledgeable about US law, but I feel confident that they don't speak in that way in legal documents.
No.
Would be my guess.
No.
Even if they are a legal lawyer.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more.
Yeah.
Hit the road,
Okay, well, we've covered that piece of
come
news
back
now.
no more.
Should we move on with our day?
It is, that is in theory over.
Okay.
I mean, you might try some other tactic or something like that, but at this point, it's just like throwing money down the drain.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There's nowhere to go with it.
We have had a comment. Someone commented today that their Gate Pass Gazette annual PDF today and the pledge was taken today. That is correct. So yes, if you back the Gate Pass Gazette annual on BackerKit, which is our first BackerKit campaign, as we mentioned in our updates, today is the day you get your add-on PDFs. We gave you the PDF for the original one the same day the campaign ended as usual, but any extra add-ons via the pledge manager are going out today, and we're taking payment for add-ons and billing and shipping and stuff like that today. So you can have that there. And also today, if you back the Secrets of the Grave Quickstarter, I need to know where you live by today, please. Complete your survey, because I'm going to send you books next week. And in order to do that, I need to know where you live.
And our random address generator is not working.
Otherwise, I'll just send it to a random address. And if you don't get it, you can't complain. No, I won't do that. But I won't be able to send it to you next week if I don't have an address. So please tell me where you live.
Yeah.
Via the
Talking about
form of
our
Kickstarter.
Kickstarters,
Don't put it in the comments.
Talking about our Kickstarters, we've got one next week. This is the last thing today. We're pretty much out of news now, but we've got one launching next week. This is Machines in the Deep, and it's all about mechanical wonders for 5e.
But it keeps it in a fantasy setting, so it's not like sci-fi like the Void Runners Codex is. So there's some sci-fi inspired magic items. There's 11 of them, but they are like edited so it fits in a fantasy setting.
We've
so
got
it's
a
like
goblin
a fantasy,
coal tank. We have a kobold clockwork dragon.
Oh, these are the war machines. Yes.
We have a clockwork mule. And we've got 2 adventures.
Yes.
So there's 5 war machines, there's 11 magic items, 10 clockwork mechanical wonders, and there's 2 adventures in this.
Yeah.
One is called Machines in the Deep, which is for 5th to 7th level. And there's an adventure in an underground facility where a whole bunch of powerful sort of like mechanical technology goes awry.
No, nothing will go wrong. It'll be fine.
Nothing will go wrong.
If you go into an underground facility with powerful technology, you'll just have a nice time.
It'll be lovely. It's like a picnic.
Yeah.
And the other is called Diva's Rescue, and this is for 7th level characters. And Fizzwig, a chap called Fizzwig, has a device called the Dirigible Examination and Evaluation Vehicle Assembly, or DEVA as he likes to call it. But he's got into a bit of a spot of bother with it. So we've got an adventure with that too.
Okay.
That's quite fun. They're for levels 5 to 7, those adventures, which is quite a nice middle ground. And it's quite a fun drop into your world, kind of little adventure, some fun NPCs and items just to sprinkle into your existing setting that you have. But yeah, so I like this one. I pulled some of these things together to make a nice kind of a mechanically but still fantasy vibes. But yeah, so if you want to stay in fantasy but you want some things like that, but you're not wanting to go to like sci-fi, this is where that kind of sits. But yeah,
right,
that's what we're doing next week, which is exciting.
I think we're done now. I think we're done. Unless you've got anyone's got any last bits of news that we may have missed, or breaking news or anything like that.
I do not. I am just waiting for that news from Pathfinder about the Runelords, which we'll tell you about next week.
Yes, because that'll be at 11 o'clock tonight, and I am not going to be waiting.
Unless you want to sit here till 11 p.m.
No.
Anyone got anything else to do? No? Okay.
Yes, I do. I have other things to do.
Play a bit Baldur's Gate in the meantime.
Oh, yeah. I'd be up for that. Yeah. A bit of Baldur's Gate. Maybe we could reload from our last save or something.
Yeah, I still got it on my computer. I'm ready to go.
Before we dived into the into the middle of the swamp.
Right. Anyway, should we get out of here? Let's remind everyone that we will be live at UK Games Expo on Friday the 30th of May. Please do come along. We do like it when people come along. It's always good fun, and it's always really nice to meet people as well. Yeah. Although this time people will actually know what we look like, so they might just know to run away. I don't know.
No, don't approve that bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we could all wear masks.
We could all wear masks. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. We're done. Should we get out of here? Should we go and have our weekend?
All right. Thanks very much. See you next week.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
And we'll all see you next week. Because daylight savings is this weekend here in the UK. Next week in America, it's back to the old time of 9 a.m., not 10 a.m.
Okay.
Because the two daylight savings realign as of next week.
But it'll be pre-scheduled on YouTube, so you can just go to YouTube and it'll tell you what time it is and convert it to your time zone. But we'll be on British summertime, BST. So 2 p.m. BST from next week.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, let's get out of here. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All the tabletop role-playing news. We aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG.